I hope you'll never lose your sense of wonder. You get your fill to eat, but always keep that hunger. But you never take one single breath for granted. God forbid, Lord.
Hey guys, it's Lisa, and it's Friday, March 7th, 2014, and I am doing a pregnancy vlog for you here. Last week, you'll have noticed, if you live in Canada and certain parts of the United States and such, you weren't able, and probably other places in the world, you weren't able to watch my video. I had so many compliments on the first vlog about how everybody loved the intro music that I was like, okay, well I'm going to switch the intro music back, but keep the same intro I have now, because I like that intro more. And so I do that, but I ended up putting more than 30 seconds of that intro song in, and they blocked my video. Even though it doesn't say, it says your video will still play, and it was just a matched third-party thing. It doesn't say anything about copyright. I don't know what the hell they're doing there, but anyways, I was going to the next day repost it, keep the other one, and you know, some people have already watched it, they've already seen it, they commented. I don't want to lose the comments. Mostly, like views, whatever, it's not very many views, but the comments are what I really want to keep. And so, I've decided that today, after I make this video, I will change the music or do something. I will re-upload it, call it repost, same name as the video last week, but it'll have a capital repost across it, and I'll put in a description why I'm reposting. This week I got blood work done, and we went to our first class called Communication Begins at Birth. That was pretty awesome. We learned quite a bit, stuff we didn't know. It's funny because some of it's a little, doesn't make a lot of sense, because they're like, oh, can you evaluate the safety of this toy? Can you evaluate whatever? Is it cost effective? Is it a flexible toy? Will it last longer, you know? But you can't really evaluate the safety of a toy based on a general notion. Like for myself, they were like, oh, you want to have 3D toys for your child. It'll teach them more. So get like a plastic cow or a plastic cat or whatever, and then you can be like, this is a cat. This is what color it is. This is what it looks like, you know, like, so I understand that. But the cow she had at the course, the leg was like this long, and everybody was like, oh, that's safe, that's fine. I'm like, yeah, real safe. Great big plastic thing in the eye, you know, like a baby when they're newborn doesn't have very much balance, or if any at all, and or stability or a lot of muscle strength. So if they're playing with this toy and just like wobbly, who's to say their eye isn't going to, that cow's hoof or whatever leg isn't going to end up in my baby's eye. So I said that I didn't feel like the safety of that was like 100%, and she's like, oh no, it's fine, you know, at least I won't do it again. And sure, that's true, but I don't know. Not when they're, maybe when they're 6 months, I would be okay with giving a child a 3D plastic toy, but up until then, it's going to be small, little, like not small, but not fluffy toys either, because I don't want them to suffocate, but maybe a small stuffed toy, like a giraffe, very short, not tall, nothing they could like hurt themselves with. They fall on a giraffe's thing, you know, it might feel weird, might kind of hurt, but it's not gonna like poke their eye out. I don't know, just my take on that. Another thing, here in Canada there was a law passed because a lot of children were having hearing issues and such, and there ended up being a law passed that toys can't be over 70 decibels. Before there were toys out that were like 110 decibels, And honestly, a jet plane is 120 decibels. So you can imagine the hearing damage that could be had for a young little child like that. Especially since we know children like to put toys right up to their ear. I like that they put a law on it. I don't necessarily like loud, piercing toys anyway, and so that'll be it. Apparently, children shouldn't watch TV up until the age of 2. Because it can create certain disorders such as ADHD and different social disorders, attention disorders. I can understand the social disorder aspect. The attention disorder, not so much, because obviously their attention is focused on that one thing. But I do get it in the sense that, say you're watching cable and all of a sudden your kid is just playing, you're watching TV. You're watching one of your favorite shows, your kid's playing with stuff, commercial comes on, commercial goes really loud, stops your kid in their tracks playing with what they're playing with, they start watching the commercial. We don't have cable, so yeah, that's awesome. We use Netflix. But anyway, so that commercial comes on, the child is, you know, seeing Barbie or seeing KFC up there, or this store, that store, buy this, buy that. That's already catching their attention at a young age, don't you think? Consumerism. Interesting bit there, but that's not the point that I was getting at that they talked about last night. Thing is that as soon as that commercial's done, your TV show comes back on. Child's not interested. It's very low, or at least at a normal level, instead of how the commercials go. Could seriously blow your eardrums sometimes how loud they are. It would scare the crap out of you if you weren't expecting it, that's for sure. However, anyways, all of a sudden, commercial's done. Kid forgets what they were doing prior to this commercial, goes and starts something else. What do you think that's leading to? That's leading to a child who isn't finishing what they start. That's not necessarily a good thing. I could see how that can lead to attention deficit disorder. Honestly, I don't know if I'm going to follow that 100%. It also said that like Baby Einstein DVDs and all that stuff can actually stunt your child's growth, because they shouldn't be talking to machines, they should be talking to humans, which yeah, I totally understand because I'm a social human being. But, you know, sometimes when you're making dinner, sure, you could have your kids sitting there and just playing with a toy, but that may not be the safest option, because you're not really, you can pay attention to them, but the way houses or apartments are made, you can't pay attention 100%. So you're going to have them in a playpen or something safe, or a blanket, depending on what age they are. If they're under 6, you're going to have them on a blanket on the floor. You know, they're not really going to go anywhere under the age of 6 months. So, you know, you don't really want them to be playing with toys that could pose any sort of hazard when you're not around. And you know, they say, oh, there's no hazard in certain toys, but who knows? Who knows really? And so I would feel more safe if I'm cooking, putting on a little bit of TV for them. Something fun, something cartoony, you know, like, but that would only be a limited amount of time. And for them to say that it's gonna, you know, you shouldn't, you know, and she's like, oh, well, I'm not being judgmental, but honestly, you kind of are if you're not wanting kids to watch TV up until 2 years old. I think what's going on there, to be honest, and here comes an opinion that most may or may not want to hear, but when you think about it, in all honesty, that kind of sounds like, of course it was a government recommendation, oh, don't listen, watch TV. It's all about control. Obviously the entertainment industry has more control, or so people think, of our population than the governments do. People are swayed by everything in these TV shows. So maybe if you look at it, isn't that the government saying, oh, we want our control back? Because right now, gaining control is more important than gaining money, and eventually with control becomes more money, more everything else. Yeah, I don't know if I believe that study. I really don't. I know lots of friends and family who have sat their kids in front of the TV for an hour or more or whatever or less each day, and most of those children do not have attention deficit disorders. Most of those children are very bright, very smart, very creative. I don't know, not everyone is the same. This woman just seemed rather judgmental and about the whole TV thing. That's the only thing I didn't really like about the course. But other than that, it was very informative. Encouraging speech and language with your child. If your child is babbling, it's a good thing, they were saying, which makes sense. And something clicked with me. I don't want to be a mom who's always sticking a soother in their child's mouth, whether I'm at the mall, whether I'm at home, whether I'm at family members, because people don't want to hear them cry. I don't want to be that mom. And so I've decided that what I'm going to do is not use a soother at all. And so the thing is that prolonged use of a soother can actually, it's been shown, studies have shown it, that it can actually reduce your child's learning capabilities and speech capabilities. So that makes a lot of sense because they're not practicing their babbling. Sure, we're just thinking, oh, what the heck, I don't know what they're saying, that doesn't even make any sense. But they are saying things, learning syllables, different things at this point without even realizing it. They may go ba ba ba. Well, you know what? Ba ba is, you know, a lot of babies call a bottle a baba. So that'll be, you know, one of their words. They may not call it a bottle, but they're calling it a baba. And eventually, what bottle starts out with is ba, 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 bottle, you know, so it's like bottle, you know, it's a little different, but, you know, they're just hearing themselves practice these sounds. And if you communicate with them in return, even though you may not understand what they're saying sometimes, it's going to encourage them to be confident and to speak up and to keep practicing to be able to say what mom and dad are saying, or grandma and grandpa. That was really a really good point, and I liked that. So that was our first course, and we'll be definitely signing up for more courses. We're interested. It may not, you know, make us stellar parents. We may already be stellar parents on our own. Who knows? But it's always good to have a few pointers, right? That's how, if you think about it, think of the tribes in the world, the Indian tribes, who go along and tell each other stories throughout the ages. They just keep telling each other that same story. They sit around a fire, or they sit somewhere and they just gather around and tell a story. And it goes through the generations. We had a friend that was kind of looking down on us for taking that course. They're like, oh, people don't learn anything there. People are going to be parents, good parents or bad parents, whether they go to a course or not. Look, buddy, honestly, that's bullshit, because that's how we learn, through stories. It shapes us. Not that we need to be shaped. We can blaze our own path, but, you know, a comment like that's kind of unnecessary, and I think we would be good parents with or without it. However, it's just nice to get some other perspectives. Like I told you, I don't believe everything she said, but I do agree with some of the other stuff. So it's stuff that we may not have been thinking of, but can implement. So yeah, I liked it, Matt liked it. That's all that matters. And we saw someone we knew there, which was kind of cool because we didn't know they were going to be there. And that was awesome, getting to kind of catch up and talk with that person. This week I had nausea like crazy, on and off. I don't know why it's back. I'm in my second trimester. A lot of women talk about how it goes away and how their tiredness goes away. Yeah, right. My stuff, I'm still nauseous, still tired. I've got pimples and blotches on the left side of my face a lot, but I noticed it's starting to come out on the right side of the face near the end of the week. Ugh, so annoying. Great big smoothie, drinking that right now. So good. That smoothie has freshly juiced orange juice, coconut water, spinach, raspberry juice, freshly juiced, bananas. That smoothie is very good, very delicious, and pretty darn amazing. Oh, and I forgot, there's also a tiny bit, like, I think 2 tablespoons of Haagen-Dazs ice cream, which like has 5, maybe 6 ingredients. None of those plastic-like ingredients and a lot of ice creams. I've had some good and then some moody days throughout the week. Saturday I didn't feel good at all after eating a chicken Caesar wrap when we went out to eat at one of the local restaurants. I don't know if there was like too much salt or what was bothering me, but something bothered me in that wrap and it made me full very fast. Maybe it was really fatty dressing, I don't know, but I just didn't feel well, so I only ate half there and then I ate half at home. And I started to notice that I'm very bored with water most of the time. So I'm having a flavored water today. The other days, like I bought some real black cherry juice, and that's all that's in it is black cherries. And basically what I do is I mix a bunch of water with a little bit of cherry juice, and it just gives it a little bit of flavor if I really am not feeling like just straight up water. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of makes me nauseous sometimes when I'm just drinking plain water. Ugh, not good. On Sunday I was nauseated again, on and off, with more pimples and blotches. I was tired, but I didn't nap. I was in a good mood for most of the day, and then Matt and I got into a little tiff, and then we ended up talking it out, like no distractions, just sat there looking at one another, telling each other how we felt, and it really made us feel closer afterwards. It was amazing. And I feel like we connected. We do that often now. We never used to do that, and that's what almost led to the degradation of our marriage a couple of times. And that was even like just a couple of years ago, but we fixed things, and that's what marriage and relationships are all about. You need to be able to talk and communicate in an effective way, you know, like when I'm angry, I raise my voice, I get mad, you know, we're not physical anymore, but it's just, it's hard for me to, when I'm angry, calm that. So when I finally calm that and I've gotten out the anger, we can talk and communicate, and it's a beautiful thing. Monday I was very nauseated, and it did not let up, barely at all. That sucked. I actually threw up after brushing my teeth before bed. First time. It's kind of made me like a little gaggy before when brushing my teeth once in a while, but like this time, I don't know. It just did not sit well, and boom, threw up. I napped twice during that day, once in the morning and late in the evening when I was watching something. I fell asleep on the couch for like an hour or two, and I was quite tired that day. I don't know, it was kind of odd that I was so tired. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention, when I got my blood work done, I bruised. Like, it's been a while and the bruise is still there. When I went to go get blood work done to find out that I was actually pregnant, the HCG blood test, I also bruised then. I don't normally bruise, so I hope of course the blood test will tell me if there's any sort of thing going on with my blood and whatever, but I hope there's nothing too serious going on, because I'm not a bruiser when it comes to needles, so I guess I'll find out. Tuesday I was nauseated on and off, and I could not decide what to eat. Very annoying. I've had a few days like that this week where I had no cravings, nothing. Was like, oh, I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want that. Like, so many aversions. And then just like, and sometimes even fruit now, like, oh, nah, I don't feel like clementines anymore. It's like I have my fill. It's like, now what do I eat? I don't crave meat very often. Once in a while I do. Fast food, not so much, maybe once, twice a week. Like, I didn't know what to eat at all that day, especially in the evening. I really couldn't. I did though make my favorite juice that day. Oh my god. I will post the picture of the recipe, but it's strawberry, kiwi, celery, and grapes. You gotta try it. If you have a juicer, Breville, Champion, Green Star, whatever it is, make that juice. I know some people are like, oh, but the Breville doesn't extract very much. Yes, it's already an expensive juice because of how much you have to use and the certain types of fruits and such. But you don't need to have it every day. And so, for me, if the Breville doesn't extract a whole lot, add a little bit of water, add more celery, or, you know, just drink a little bit and then have more a few weeks later, you know. Then it's not so expensive and you're getting as much as you can out of it. Celery will definitely add some volume to the juice. But to keep that perfect balance between everything, it's good to just, yeah. Anyway, I love it. And I've been making it since 2010 when I first started. It was my first really good fruit juice that I loved, that I made. It was completely my creation and I've been making it ever since. So I wanted to share that recipe. I actually have a video back from 2010 where I talk about how I just did a workout and I'm using it to replenish after my workout. Well, I was on a juice fast, I believe. And yeah, the celery really helps because of the celery, natural sodium in the celery. And so that's one of the electrolytes, and I love it, and I think you'll enjoy it. So give it a shot. On Wednesday, I actually weighed myself, and according to the scale at the OB's office, I was 5 pounds lighter than I was on my own scale, so I just actually recorded it 5 pounds lighter, and so I lost half a pound since I weighed myself at the OB's office. I'm now 214.5, which is kind of cool, in the second trimester and still not gaining. Hopefully the baby's all good. We'll find out. We're going for an appointment. My 20-week ultrasound will be coming up very soon. Very exciting. Basically, Tuesday night before I went to bed, it was actually Wednesday morning, before I went to bed, I threw up after brushing my teeth again. Seriously. And so I was nauseous like all day, and afterwards when I went to bed I had used the nipple butter on my nipples and like that Honest Company cream on my hands, the healing stuff for like where I have that eczema, where I wear my ring, and I burnt myself on my hands. Dumb story, but a long story, so I'm not really going to explain it. But anyway, I've been using that stuff and it's healing very well. But I put some on my belly because I'm getting stretch marks, the nipple butter. And it's got like coconut oil and cocoa butter, shea butter, and all that stuff. And that stuff's supposed to help with stretch marks. Well, I'm getting a little bit of stretch marks here, so I was like, whatever, let's see what I can do. And I could feel, it was itchy. I've been a little itchy in that area. And so I rubbed some on, went to bed. All of a sudden my back was itchy for like 20 minutes. My stomach started getting itchy. My hair, like my scalp, and like just my face, everything was itchy. And I'm like, what the hell? I like woke Matt up by scratching so much. I said, oh my God, can you scratch my back? And he did, and oh my God, like it was ridiculous. Like I don't know if like it was just too much on my belly. Like I didn't put a lot. I don't mean too much of the stuff, but like too much, and it like absorbed quickly because the intestines are there. I don't know. Who knows, right? And so, because our skin is an organ and it absorbs whatever we put on it and what's around us. And anyway, so I didn't do that again, and I've been fine. So that was kind of interesting. I just won't won't test that, you know. You never know if it's affecting my child, and so on and so forth. Then on Thursday, I was tired on and off all day. I had a small headache at the end of the night. That was last night. And, yeah, I was breaking out even more, red-faced, pimply, and blotchy. Very annoying. And on top of that, I have these weird red bumps on my areola. I don't know how to explain them. They're kind of soft, kind of hard. It's weird. It looks like I'm growing other nipples. Really freaking weird. Embarrassing. But it is what it is. Now, I have a question for moms and dads. Anyone who is a primary caretaker of their child, or even a secondary, who have had newborns, 2 6-month-olds. Well, obviously, if you're a mom or dad, you've had one of those at some point. Sleeping through the night. What time do or did you put them to bed, and what time do or did they wake up? I'm very interested in that answer. Obviously, our baby's going to have their own rhythm, but I've been thinking close to like 9:30, 10 o'clock would be my child's bedtime. I notice a lot of people put their kids to bed around 7, and I don't know. That just seems like they're going to get into a normal pattern. Eventually, if you get them used to something, it becomes habitual. So if they go to bed at 10, as they get older, that's the time they'll go to bed. You know, it seems like, why start them out at 7 and then a little bit later, oh, let's go to 8 and then 9 and then 10, and then it just might screw up the rhythm completely. So I feel like starting out at that time would be good for us, especially since that's when Matt goes to bed, and I'll have to start getting into that kind of routine myself, which would be fine. And then I've read on forums that people have babies that will sleep from 10 until 10. Then some people have babies that'll sleep from 10 until, even from like when they brought them home from the hospital, if they're really lucky, from 10 until 5, and then they need a diaper change, and then they go back to sleep for another few hours. And then they nap in the afternoon. I think that would be a great pattern to have my child follow. So, tell me what you think. What did you do? Are you a new mom now and you're wondering the same thing? If you are, tell me what you think you would like to do once your baby is born, depending on what their actual rhythm is. What time are you thinking of putting them to bed? And, yeah. I can't wait to hear your responses below. Thank you so much for watching. That's my update for today. It's probably another long one. I hope you have a great weekend and that you're having a great day or a great evening. Namaste.